All right, how's it going? Tales of the Shire. Finally here. Well, not finally here, right around the corner. Starting development in 2023, scheduled for release early 2025. Disaster, a pushback, now scheduled to release on the 29th of July, which is it's so close. Coming out on Steam, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. I'm absolutely buzzing. I cannot wait. Developed by Bywater Workshop Game Studios and Private Division, Tales of the Shire is going to be another absolutely gorgeous addition to the cozy game genre, hopefully. I hope. Something really cool, I think is really cool. Bywater Workshop worked on the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy, helping with the armor, the props, the miniatures, all that jazz. And now their game studio working on Tales of the Shire. Full circle. Tales of the Shire is set in the village of Bywater. It's not officially a village yet, but there is a potential. It's up and coming. In the game, you start off by making your very own hobbit, woken up by the man, the myth, the legend, Gandalf himself. You've got all the usual character customization features, hair, face, eyes, feet. I really love the developers just could have given you bog standard hobbit feet, but they said no. Let the people decide. You can choose just how hairy you want your feet to be. Phenomenal. And then from there, you can pick your name. You can freely type your own name, but it seems that second names are from like a pre-written list for you to choose from. Oh, and you can choose your own personality type, which I think is very cool, very cute. And then bada bing, bada boom, you are in. You are ready to start your life as a hobbit. Gandalf then gives you a lift into Bywater. You get your keys to your own hobbit home. Empty, barren, dusty, bursting with potential. Oh my goodness. For the decorating game, Tales of the Shire uses a free-form movement. You know how typically with decorating games you have a grid and it will be a bit of a grid-locked system? Not here. It is a loosey-goosey, baby. It is free-form, free-flowing. The reasoning behind this was that they really wanted people to be as free and creative as possible to really clutter the place up with very minimal restrictions. You can make your hobbit hole as chaotic, as cramped, or as cozy as you would like. Although I do wonder if there will be any systems or anything in place to help you if you want a more symmetrical look, if you want something evenly spaced, if you want some symmetry. Is there a guide that you can switch on to help you with that? Or is it just completely you're out on your own? And also in your hobbit home, there'll be two different camera modes. One for when you are just bimbling around, doing your cooking, hanging out in your home, and another one, a more kind of zoomed out view for when you are decorating. So you can really just see everything that is going on and not feel so cramped and restricted to your character when you're just trying to decorate. Also, similar to other cozy games like Field of Mystery and Stardew Valley, Tales of the Shire is going to be going through the seasons. It's going to have its own calendar year. I'm actually pretty excited to see the seasons, and I know it's not a revolutionary gameplay design, gameplay aspect, but normally in the Shire we see it during the warmer periods. I can't wait to see how it looks when it's snowing. I think that's going to be nice. I think that's going to be good. Relating to the seasons, in the inside look, they talk about having a wind system. They really wanted the world of Tales of the Shire and Bywater to have a calm, living, breathing ambience. Even if your character stood still, things are still very gently and very slowly moving. The grass blades, the flowers blowing in the spring breeze, maybe flying about a bit in the winter breeze, who knows? But they wanted that very meditative ambience. Unsurprisingly, in the game, food plays a huge part, and a lot of the other skills all link back to cooking and making meals. It's one of the first things you learn when you start playing the game. Once you've made your character, you literally cook a bowl of porridge. It's very important to the hobbits. Cooking uses mini games that differ depending on what cooking task you're doing, and you are able to fry, bake, season your meals. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of leeway, a little bit of freedom when it comes to the cooking. So it's not there will be set recipes, but also you can kind of pick and choose and experiment and go from there and see what kind of comes out with everything. Obviously with the cooking, you got to gather your ingredients. Going back to your hunter, gather a caveman roots. Well, the hunting, there's fishing. hunting. That counts. That counts as hunting. As well as gathering, there's gardening, and you better be stockpiling. With the changing weather comes seasonal crops, forageables, and fish. And hey, it's gonna suck if your favorite character's favorite dish is something that requires summer ingredients in the winter. So hoarders, stockpile. Thank you. And there's been some details about how the gardening is going to work as well for your fruit and vegetables. So like planting certain crops together will help them thrive, whether that's making them grow faster or giving you more, I don't know, more carrots if you plant carrots next to tomatoes or something. I don't know. Or maybe just better quality. It just makes them better. And then on the other end, you got some plants and crops which, if together, ain't going to get on. Maybe they'll take longer to grow. Maybe they won't stay watered for so long. Maybe you won't reap as much from the harvest. Who's to say? And this is a theory. I do genuinely believe there's going to be some kind of crafting skill. With Tales of the Shire having such a big emphasis on decor, there has to be. Unless you're just buying out the furniture shop every single day, which, I mean, it's possible, sure. But we've got to be able to like craft some of the furniture ourselves, right? Just my theory. Let a woman dream. Thank you. Tales of the Shire in the Middle Earth timeline is set between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, so it's a relatively peaceful time. Keeping true with the Hobbits, the story is nice, it's slow going, it's comfy, it's cozy, it's low stakes. You're not going to Mordor anytime soon, all right? The most drama you're going to get is probably some villager disputes, and that sounds delightful, wonderful. I'm all for some small town drama. Although it has been said that Tales of the Shire does lean more towards the fetch quest tasks to do, which could definitely put some people off. For me, it depends, right? If the character in the dialogue is interesting, funny, charming, witty, if I'm enjoying the dialogue, if I'm enjoying the characters, I don't really mind, fetching back and forth because I've got that driver of wanting to know more of the story or more about the character or just read some fun dialogue. So I can cope with fetch quests along those lines. And I also think when you're just trying to be comfy and cozy, again, for me personally, just having like a little to-do list to help guide you gently while you're just waddling through this comfy, cozy world, I'm fine with. But again, fetch quests could be like a really big turn off for some people. How are we going to navigate? How do I know where to go? What to do? Birds. Again, going back to that whole like ambient living world, the birds gently guide you to where you need to go depending on what quest you're tracking, through just kind of staying near you, going slightly in the direction you need to go to, cheeping. Do they cheep? No, it's chicks that cheep. Cooing, pigeons coo, making bird sounds. I think that's incredibly cute. I really can't wait to see how that is implemented and kind of how intuitive it is and just how it fits in to the world. The game is also going to be having a trading and bartering system, both used for getting closer to your neighbours and obtaining better products from the store. So I don't know, you've got some milk, you give it to your neighbour, she's going to make it into cheese. Bada bing, bada boom, bartered. You keep gifting a little tradesman, might start getting some star quality products. Is that bribery? Maybe. At least it's wholesome. That's not illegal bribery, is it? That's fine. Also, the art style of the game, I remember when the first trailer came out, the community divided. Some people really, really did not like how Tales of the Shire looks. I've seen more positive thoughts around the art style now. I remember when it first came out, I really loved the look of the world that has been created. They're very much going for like this was done by hand. I mean, we know it wasn't like, well, it was done by hand, typing and digitally, but like done by hand, pencil, paper, paint. And I really like this kind of watercolory look and feel. When you have a watercolory feel, is that a thing? I'm going to say it is, about the world and the colour palette. At first, I didn't like the look of the hobbits. They looked a bit to me. And I really didn't like how they moved. It looked quite stiff and jittery, if that makes sense. But the more I've seen of the game and the more I've watched trailers and interviews and just kind of consumed content about Tales of the Shire, I've really, really warmed up to how the hobbits look and how they move. The silliness is so cute. I now really like how they move, how they're bobbing up and down, just waddling about, and I find just how they walk so incredibly charming. So I'm sold on the art style. And going along with that, the menus as well, from what we've seen, gorgeous. Chef's kiss. They're so pretty. They look really hand-drawn, and just who thought a menu could be warming? It just looks so enticing and warm and cozy, and really I do think encapsulates the spirit of Hobbit. This nice natural landscape, this warm feeling, this slow living, and the kind of silliness of it as well. I think it looks like the whole package, and I'm so excited. But are you looking forward to Tales of Shire? What are you going to be playing on. I'm interested. If there's anyone here who hasn't seen The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, or just isn't that interested in Middle Earth, but is still kind of curious to play this game, I'm wondering what the appeal is to people who maybe just aren't that invested in Tolkien's world. Let me know. Also, not so subtle plug, she stream. I stream 4 times a week on Twitch. If you want to like chit chat, maybe we'll even be doing Tales of the Shire, experiencing our Hobbit life together. I'm just saying. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. If you did like it, if it was all right, maybe you could do the like or the subscribe, or you know what, if you're feeling proper generous, maybe both. All right, cheers.